done in one's life. And in this case, in my view, they're a part of one. This is why I don't have time on the weekends to run off to here or there to play this or that or so forth and so on. And this is why I also write books, because I think they're really all one and the same genre, if you will. Communication, liberty, constitutionalism. So it was a good decision today as far as it went. Could have been better. But the EPA has enormous power outside of this decision. And, if Congress doesn't want to act, the executive branch shouldn't be acting in its stead. The executive branch shouldn't be acting at all. I don't care if Obama has a pen. We have a Constitution. Now, I hope, you have a better understanding of what happened today with the Supreme Court. And usually when these cases come out, I get about 400 emails. People want me to customize some response to them. Mark, what happened today, please? And I said, just listen to the show. I can't write everybody and do a critique for everybody. Just listen to the show. That's the whole point of the program. And, see, the problem has become this, with the presidency and the executive branch generally, and not just them, but Congress and even the courts. Any idea or desire or thought somehow can now be mandated. I mean, Obama's going on and on today about what he thinks the workforce should look like, and I thought to myself, why does that matter what he thinks? If he wants to start a business and he wants to do those things, then it matters, but he's the president. Every thought that comes through his mind that, well, the French do this, and, and this one does that, and this one does, who cares? Who cares? He's part of the government. The government has no say in this stuff. Certainly shouldn't. I mean, he creates this notion of this beautiful workplace where, you have family leave and this happens and that happens. The problem is not enough people are in the workplace because of his policies. They not only have family leave, they have endless leave. Leave from a paycheck, losing their mortgages. And they're relieved of their bank accounts and so forth and so on. It's so absurd to have a president who is overseeing the worst post-recession economy in modern history, whose policies have specifically resulted in this, lecturing everybody about how they should run a business. Man who couldn't even get a website up. All right, I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
I'm glad our military finally nabbed one of the Benghazi terrorists, but that doesn't change the fact there are 4 dead Americans, and all we get from the Obama administration are lies and obstruction. This is a massive scandal, and we need to get to the bottom of it. I don't care how long it takes. That's why the work of the Media Research Center is so crucial. The media are trying to brainwash Americans into thinking this is a phony scandal, and someone has to stop them. I want you to go to BenghaziBlackout.com, one word. Go there now and sign the MRC's petition. It's that simple. All it asks is that the media tell the truth about Benghazi. They've taken a break from the blackout on Benghazi to praise Obama for his heroism in capturing a terrorist after almost 2 years. Then the blackout will resume. Do what I did and go to BenghaziBlackout.com and sign the MRC's petition. Once 100,000 of you in my audience, patriotic Americans, sign the petition at BenghaziBlackout.com, the MRC will deliver them to the top executives at all the news groups. So please go to BenghaziBlackout.com. Let us go to Andrew, San Francisco, the great KSFO. Go.
Hi, Mark. It's a pleasure and a privilege to speak with you. I'm confused by these greenies. I mean, they say that our industrial way of life is unsustainable and the environmental impact is so great that we must change our lifestyle and go through these drastic draconian restrictions. Yet they roll out the red carpet for all the nations from the south to invade us, Do these people not consume resources? Are they not going to plug up our freeways and the streets? Are they not going to use our plumbing system and our food distribution system? Are they not going to bring their own greenhouse gases with them up north? Are their emissions better than our emissions? We've rolled out the red carpet for everybody who wants to come here, and yet we're restricting ourselves and our ability to sustain this population. And I'm confused.
Well, you're exactly right on all points. So, rather than me give you the answer, why do you think the so-called greed movement supports all of this?
I think they're in cahoots with the internationalists to replace this.
All right, slow down. No. They support all of this because it's a breakdown of our system, because they promote the centralization of government. The environmental movement isn't about the environment. The environmental movement is about empowering government in ways that we can't even imagine, through regulatory power, through rulemaking, to dress it up as an issue relating to health, relating to the environment, but it's not. At this point, that's why I say the old red movement is the green movement. They want an all-powerful centralized government because they intend to control it. And the reason they support foreigners coming into this country of any age, all age, whatever disease, whatever background, is because, as you well know, those are future constituents. So it's all quite logical.
It seems to me that you need a mass of ignorant people for all this to take place, and it seems to me that they're removing, displacing, or sending overseas, the Americans and replacing our population with foreigners.
Well, we're not sending Americans overseas. People can leave if they want, but we're definitely sending jobs overseas. There's no question about that. All right, sir, thank you for your call. So, if you understand the mentality of the statist, then it all falls right into place. It's even scarier than if you don't. The reason why Michelle Obama is in the lunchrooms in our schools isn't because of healthy lunches and obesity. It's because it expands the federal role in our local school systems. They usurp your local school board. They usurp the local taxpayers, the parent-teacher organizations. If the federal government can dictate what your kids are going to eat at school, they can dictate what curriculum they have, they can dictate the assemblies, they can dictate everything. If you understand the left is about power, power, and more power. Control. That's what it's about. School lunches today, the environment tomorrow, agriculture the next day, on and on and on. It doesn't matter. Every opportunity. And remember what I also said. First and foremost, they're about the Democrat Party, like the old communists were about the Communist Party. The Democrat Party, for many of these activists, for many of the Democrat politicians, is more important than the country. Because it is the Democrat Party with which they identify, it is the Democrat Party through which they exercise power and control. That's what's going on. John, Evansville, Indiana, the great WGBF. Go.
Good afternoon, Mr. Levin. It's nice talking to you today. My question is, over the course of the last several weeks, you talk about our president being a Marxist. And most of us know who Karl Marx is who listen to your show, but I think it's a chance for you to educate our young people on what communism is all about.
Oh, I do it all the time. I'm not going to do it today because I have other things planned for today, and I don't mind doing it on another day. But I even did it as recently as last week. But I'm happy to do it again, but I'm not going to do it today because I have other things planned today. And by the way, you live in a state that's called Indian. Let's stop with this Indiana. It's Indian, right?
Excellent. Great point. I appreciate that.
Don't forget that now. You live in India, in Indian, What is it?
One question about the school systems. That, we will never, our school systems are really built around a socialist system. How can our school systems teach capitalism when the unions run our schools?
Our school systems are not going to teach capitalism. That's the job of parents now, because our school systems, not completely, but ever too much, are propaganda mills. So we have some wonderful teachers out there, but they're smothered by the iron fist of the union. I've read estimates 30 to 35% of the members of the teacher unions are Republican. That doesn't mean they're conservative, but there are good ones out there. The problem is they're overwhelmed. So, like I wrote in Liberty and Tyranny at the end under the Conservative Manifesto, that's our job. And there's millions of parents and grandparents out there, and you got to pull your kids and grandchildren aside and educate them about liberty, about free market capitalism, about the Constitution, and about all these things that matter over dinner, over the weekend, during the holidays. Just keep at it. That's our job, because they ain't going to get it in the other place. I'll be right back.
He's here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Hello, everybody. Mark Levin here. This is Hour 2. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. Well, I didn't watch the USA versus Portugal soccer game, but I listened to it. This weekend, several very dear friends of mine and I drove to West Virginia, from Virginia, to an absolutely beautiful area. To another friend of ours, Joe. Man, did we eat well. Our buddy Danny knows how to cook, man, I'll tell you. The teriyaki chicken melts in your mouth. The beef melts in your mouth. The guy's like a master chef. He's a former cop. And he's a dear friend, too. But anyway, so we're driving back, and we're listening to the game. And believe it, I was getting into it. I never get into this stuff. It was 1-0, and the USA had time and time again blew, opportunities. The first goal the Portuguese got was a screw up on our side. But anyway, 1-1, then 2-1, and then like everybody else, what? They scored? They tied us with 15 seconds left? I have to say it was exciting. Yes, it was. It was exciting, I have to say. Kind of a downer at the end there. But massive audience on ESPN watching it, too. But here's the thing. You'll get up for something like that, but you're not going to watch a whole season of this crap. I don't even know how many games they play. I don't even know if they play. I don't know how it even works. I don't even care how it works. And quite frankly, if I wasn't in the car and I wasn't asked to turn it on, I probably wouldn't have listened to it. Anyway, I know, who cares? So Obama today. You know what, before I get to Obama today, something else I've been thinking about, and I did a little bit of